Today marks the 21st year anniversary of Disney's Dinosaur. Today, in favor of that movie celebration, today's Paleo file is going to focus on Iguanodon. It is a large plant-eating dinosaur from the early Cretaceous period, famous for various media and the fact that the teeth resemble those of a green iguana. As such, the Iguanodon is given that name. It was approximately an 11-meter long giant, and with a thumb spike previously mistaken for a horn. Its iguana-like teeth used for cutting leaves, and its uniqueness among the other dinosaurs in Europe. There are three various Iguanodon species discovered. One in North America, one in Europe, and one in Asia. It had many relatives. One of them Ouranosaurus. Just kidding, Ouranosaurus was a direct missing link between iguanodontids and hadrosaurs, despite the thumb spikes and the duckbill. Today we're looking at all three of this variety. Iguanodon lived in a coastal to forest region in what is known as Europe, Asia, and North America, as implied earlier. The same places the woolly mammoth would live in later, but they're closely unrelated, so let's not get to that. Iguanodon has been depicted various times, some of which having a similar color scheme to the green iguana. Some of these depictions have the beak covered in lips, and most prominently, the shoulders were lower than previously reconstructed. Iguanodon was discovered and named in 1825 by Mantell. In North America, its enemies were Utahraptor. In Europe, let's just say those guys are Baryonyx and Ylvanazar. And in Asia, you have Utaranus. But as seen in prehistoric Earth, a natural history, a relative of Iguanodon, known as Macrogryphosaurus, has faced a Giganotosaurus, Sarcosuchus in Africa, and Deinonychus and Utahraptor in North America. Oh yeah, when during the early Cretaceous, well, let's say 104 to 110 million BC, The Iguanodon could run up to 24 kilometers an hour. That's 15 miles an hour. It was both a quadruped and a biped. Okay, not really. Iguanodon was mainly a biped, but it can be a quadruped if it either got tired or it could graze on the low brown vegetation. A quadrupedism versus bipedism hypothesis was pointed out with other large ornithopods at the time. Later, since its discovery, Hadrosaurus was previously reconstructed similar to the generic ornithopods. This is, however, untrue, considering the fact that Hadrosaurus had a different skull than that. Plus, like all the other bipedal dinosaurs, it had a horizontal stance, like Iguanodon, but could stand upright. It has to. There was also the previous hypothesis. There's also the rumoric hypothesis of the Iguanodon having a giraffe-like tongue. But later down the line, turns out the tail was not like that. The giraffe sticks out its tongue more often. It weighed approximately 4.5 to 5 tons. Iguanodon fought its enemies with its dumb spikes, but when it's not, it would run away. That would be a problem when the predators are trying to catch up to the Iguanodon. Sadly, Iguanodon did not live as long as the rest of the dinosaur clade, like most other genus of dinosaurs or other prehistoric life. These animals may have died from either a flash flood or the tectonic activity or volcanic activity. But this was not at the KPG mass extinction. Oh yeah, about Disney's Dinosaur 2000, remember that lips depiction I mentioned earlier? Yes, Iguanodon was depicted there like that. But as I watch the film, I've only known 4 notables. We have Alidor, Nera, Kron, and Bruton. Yes, I read the Disney Wiki. Here's the thing though, I would depict the Iguanodon with a face like that as well, but with a color scheme resembling the North American Iguanodon from Walking with Dinosaurs. Oh yeah, here's the thing, we don't know about the Iguanodon's color scheme yet, but let's just assume that the color scheme is going to be similar to either the green iguana or the okapi. The latter making Iguanodon blend in with the forest environment, or either the former. which would possibly do the same thing, but better. Iguanodon was also previously depicted to have been all quadrupedal at the time of its discovery. As for its food source, Iguanodon found some of the leaves and plants. Hence, that lived during the New World. Before the mid-Cretaceous period, that's when 10 million years before the mid-Cretaceous, yeah, that's when they went extinct. Iguanodon is actually the largest of the Iguanodontidae. Okay, I actually made a misconception from earlier about its length. There's actually 6 to 10 meters in length. Oh wait, I was wrong again. And I was right the first time. Vegetarian is not the... Vegetarian and vegan are different. And vegetarian is similar to herbivore. But vegetarian is more leaves. Herbivores can feed on any plant matter. That's where That's where the Iguanodon sits in the food chain. If Iguanodon hadn't existed today, it would help us build various renovate rooms. That could be a problem with the thumb spikes, though. Yeah, they're better off in forests similar to the climate they used to live in before they went extinct. Yeah, the Iguanodon is also the lower side of the missing link of Tyrannosaurus. Iguanodon lived in mid-sized herds, right up to 30 individuals, most of which are juvenile, most of which are adolescent Iguanodon. The migration, those hazards I mentioned, was what wiped out the remaining herd in the first place. We know that from our experience, young Iguanodon are more active than the adults. And they even had a had a bodyguard in both North America and Europe. That's Polacanthus, a dinosaur who lived at the same place and time. Again, not related to Iguanodon. Iguanodon had various relatives. Another main relative, a few others I'm mentioning are going to be Mutoborasaurus, Mantillosaurus, and Camptosaurus. Camptosaurus lived during the late Jurassic in the USA. Mantillosaurus is stuck in Europe. And Mutoborasaurus lived during the early to mid Cretaceous in what is now Australia. Yeah. As you can see in this image, that's a kind of environment Iguanodon would live in. Oh yeah, Iguanodon also lived in white fields. But sometimes that could leave a lone Iguanodon in danger and vulnerable to predators. Happy Deceased Dinosaur 21st anniversary, everyone. And hopefully their time will be remembered after this